places to be, family to see, and all the things I rush around to buy. Slow down and find the wonder of a child, 'cause it's more than a season of giving gifts to those who love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of, like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? Maybe this year I'll show that I care by giving that most precious gift of time. Where can I start? Can I open my heart to be with those that mean the world to me? Slow down and sing all that Christmas can be. 'Cause it's more than a season of giving gifts to those who love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of, like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? This Christmas, let's light a candle, hang a grand star on the tree, make gingerbread angels, be grateful for the life we lead. Let's take the time now to simply breathe. Remember what Christmas means. It's more than a season of giving gifts to those who love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of, like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? 'Cause it's more than a season of giving gifts to those who love. It's about looking deeper for the peace that we dream of, like a baby in a manger with new eyes to see the world. Love is born in an instant. Isn't that what it's all for? Isn't that what love is for? It's Christmas. Ooh, that's what love is for. Isn't that what it's all for? Ooh, more than a season. More than a season. It's Christmas. Oh.
That is Faith Rivera, called More Than a Season. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown in person, which is always a joy to get your good vibes. And online, those of you that are joining us virtually, whether it's today or any day in the future. We don't have that luxury when we're in the room, right? Except if we go online and check it again. So we welcome you during this holiday season. There's a lot happening, right? So we're talking today about the winter solstice and what it all means. And next Sunday is Christmas Eve for many of you. And we're going to talk about the metaphysical meaning of Christmas. And then the week after, it's New Year's Eve, and we're going to do our burning bowl ceremony with a little extra. And so that means that we're just going to sit in the silence and think about what we're letting go of and what we want to embrace. At 7 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have the World Healing Meditation. This has been happening since 1986. I know some of you weren't alive yet then. I was. And that is started by John Randolph Price, and it's a World Healing Meditation. It happens all over the planet. Billions of people are participating at the same time. It happens to be from 7 to 8 over here, thank goodness, because in California it's like, 4 in the morning. And we meditate for an hour on world healing, and it's going to also be in here. And I want you to take a look over there, and if you're not here in person, be sure to check out our website, because we have some wonderful things in January with a sound bath with Kat Roman and a new yoga class, restorative yoga, every 2 weeks with Hannah Grotowski in the evening. And a new class with Susan Neat, who has been serving here as a practitioner. And it's a foundational class called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life on Zoom. So we have a lot of things going on. And let me see, did I forget anything? No, just today is the last book discussion of The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. If you haven't attended yet, just come, because it's a discussion and we're doing part 5 and everybody's welcome. And we have Lori today, Lori Carlson, assisting as our licensed practitioner or assisting practitioner. She's going to walk us through a guided meditation. So let's do our Namaste practice, which means we put our hands together. Namaste is the Sanskrit for the divinity in me, blesses the divinity in you. But remember, not just to give, but also to receive. So just bow to somebody and say Namaste. And let's treat our word for affirmative prayer. This is also a moment to turn our cell phones on silent or on airplane mode or whatever we need to do. And so we take this moment to turn away from the outer world by closing our eyes and allowing ourselves to turn to this inner world that is ever awaiting our attention. It is that aspect of us that is ever deep and expansive and open and receptive and loving and free and filled with trust. And so we know that as we move through the world with our eyes open, that we might be having a different experience. But it's in that turning within that we connect with the source of our being, that which breathes our breath and beats our heart, that is always in service to us, which is truly our most solid foundation. So as we celebrate this season of light in all of its different forms, whether it was Diwali or whether it was Hanukkah or whether it's Christmas or Yule or Saturnalia or winter solstice, all that is really about remembering that the true light is within us and that we are here to shine that light upon the darkness, knowing that the darkness itself is as holy and sacred as the light. And so that we explore today, that we are remembering today, and that we are grateful for today. And so it is.
And so it is.
Oh, and what I just forgot to tell you is that our new journals for 2024 are in the house. They're really beautiful. Next year's theme is a grand rising. So come and get your journal a little bit later. I'll be the sales girl in the shop over there. So, are you noticing it's a little more dark outside? That the nights are longer and the days are shorter? Sometimes it's a little hard to notice with that silly daylight savings thing, but we can all feel it, right? that the days are shorter, the nights are longer, and some people, I used to but not anymore, experience that seasonal affective disorder, right? It's because that's how they experience the more darkness. And so we move towards the winter solstice, which happens this Thursday at 10:27 p.m. exactly. And then the sun stands still for 72 hours. That's what solstice means. Sol, sun, stis, stand still. And in ancient days, before there was any religion, it was a very scary time because they thought the world was coming to an end. Some people still feel that. But the truth was that once that passed, the days became longer and the light began to return. And it became a celebration. And so it's a very rich time, actually. I love winter time. I love the winter solstice. I love the darkening of the days because I become more internal, more reflective, more restful, more patient, more peaceful. And I no longer participate in the hustle and bustle of Christmas because I love celebrating the winter solstice, which brings all those holidays together that I mentioned in the opening treatment. And I don't have family here, and Norman and I don't do gifts. We decorate if we feel like it. And he doesn't have family here either. So for us, it's just a time to be quiet and peaceful and still and relax and reflect. And maybe watch one Christmas movie, because that's not always my thing either. But I heard of a few that are must-sees. So if you know any, let me know. I'm open. So in spiritual teachings, what I've noticed, and you may have noticed this as well, there's a lot of focus on the light and not so much on the darkness because we've come to fear it. We come to fight it. We come to resist it. It's a bad thing. It's all about the light, right? But there cannot be any light without darkness. And there cannot be any darkness without light. And if you think about it, much begins in the dark. The Big Bang, hello. How many of you have birthed babies? How light do you think it's inside the womb? It's not. How many of you are gardeners and you've planted bulbs this spring? They're really needing the dark in order to pop up again in the spring and burst out blooming. And so what we find that if we befriend the darkness instead of fighting it, and you can give all kinds of names to darkness, right? It can be fear, worry, anxiety. It can be challenges, health issues, financial issues, relationship issues, career issues. All that can be under darkness. But when we befriend it and we trust it and we allow it, it always takes us to the light. It must. It's when we fight it that we always stay in that low grade discomfort and anxiety and fear. And so we are asked to not turn away from the darkness, but to witness it long enough so that we begin to see the light. That's why I love the good news. That's why I love to listen for the heroes and the heroines when there is a crisis. That's why when I love to see a story that's heartwarming when the world seems to be falling apart. And there's plenty of examples of it right now, with many wars going on, with lots of disease, with the earth crying out because it's dying and we've destroyed it. And so there's plenty of ways for us to say, wow, let me just sit with that. Because when we sit with it, it becomes a deeper spiritual practice because it's calling upon us to share our own unique light because nobody's light is the same. We each get to birth a unique light, just like those of you who have birthed babies have birthed a unique child or children, right? They're not the same, even if they're twins. And so we get to birth that light in a way that's unique to us, which becomes our gift to the world. It becomes our service to humanity. And so we light candles. And somebody needs to invent one that works. Please. We light candles, right? I love to light candles, but I get in trouble because my honey doesn't like it. I've been known to leave the stove on, which has gotten me in quite a bit of trouble recently. Because I love fire and I love light. My parents were a little worried they were raising a child that might turn out to be a pyromaniac. I'll just leave the two. And we decorate. It's okay, Lori. I'm lighting our beautiful wreath that Kimberly made and donated to us. How many of you are lighting candles during the holiday season or throughout the year? How many of you are decorating? Yes, we love that, especially when it gets darker. And I don't know if this is true, but I've noticed that more homes and yards out front have been decorated this year. Maybe it's just me. Like it seems like everything is lit up. There's a place near my home that has 3 huge peace signs, and they're all 6 of them, all different colors. I still haven't managed to take a picture of it. And so that is our desire for light. That's our desire for magic and wonder and awe. I have friends that go to special places where they have the most lights, and now they have apps that go with it, with the music and all that. So I still have to do that one, but that's how much we love it, right? And so that's because it's a reminder of what the light blesses us with, what it gifts us with. It's a reminder that light can be reborn in the darkness. And so that's why it's so important for us to make Christmas a verb and not just a noun. And to not just make it about gifts and decorations and food and running around. It's about that inner awareness that each of us are birthing the light, the sun, as we go through the holiday season. I love the Persian poet Jalaluddin Rumi, who lived in the 1200s, where he says, "Search the darkness, sit with your friends, don't go back to sleep. Don't sink like a fish to the bottom of the sea. Surge like an ocean, don't scatter yourself like a storm. Life's waters flow from darkness. Search the darkness, don't run from it. Night travelers are full of light, and you are too. Don't leave this companionship. Be a wakeful candle in a golden dish. Don't slip into the dirt like quicksilver. The moon appears for night travelers. Be watchful when the moon is full." So this really invites us to befriend the darkness because it holds the mystery, it holds the richness, and it holds the light. The light is just a reflection of our wholeness. And the word wholeness and holiness are connected. It holds the light of our true holiness, our true wholeness. And so in a way, we're all birthing at the moment. We all have this opportunity to birth something new, to birth the light, to birth a quality that we long for the most, maybe a quality we've been longing for in somebody else. And we think that once they birth that quality, we're going to be okay. But again, in the reflection, we know it's ours to birth, right? And so we can ask ourselves, well, then what is that? What is that? How can I birth the light? Well, first we have to befriend the darkness, because if we don't befriend the darkness and we resist it and we fight it and we judge it as bad, we can't get to the light. We can't see so clearly what is ours to be, to do, to have, to give, and to long for. And so it's not about staying in the darkness, because maybe you've noticed some people who stay in that darkness because they're so afraid of the light, but they don't even know it. And so they're always in this dark place because they're not willing to stay in it, to explore it, to see it, to feel it, and to see it as an opportunity to birth a greater idea, a greater sense of self, a greater light. And so the light within is something that we're all called to express and to live and to bring to the world. And so it starts with becoming aware of that little spark of light that's inside of us. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes it almost goes out. In my life, I have felt times where I thought, it's going out, I'm done, right? But sometimes it's so small, and it just requires that peace, that pause, that time, that rest, to just feel that and to fan it. And Lori is going to do a practice with that, to fan it enough so that it begins to grow and it begins to expand beyond us, and we begin to see it in the world, and we begin to get really clear what is ours to live, to express, to be, to know. And so there's this lovely poem that I found in some of my notes yesterday, and I thought, where did that come from? And how come I found it now? Maybe it's for tomorrow. It's by Roy T. Bennett. I have no idea who he is. Apparently he's an author that wrote The Light in the Heart. He says, learn to light a candle in the darkest moments. Learn to light a candle in the darkest moments of someone's life. Be the light that helps others see. It's what gives life its deepest significance. We forget sometimes, right, that our light is for someone else. Because we tend to be pretty self-absorbed and narcissistic these days, whether we like it or not, or aware of it or not. And because we're managing, we're surviving, because the world seems to be challenging us. And so we can only have enough light for ourselves to get through the day. But the more we hoard it, the more we suffer. And so we make time and we take time to share that light wherever we go, whether you're at the bank or in the grocery store or in traffic on the road. We get to just kind of decide to be more of a light than ever before. And those are little gifts that we might not notice the outcome of, but we know how it makes us feel. And so, how do we do that? Well, I think the most important thing seems counterintuitive, because there's shopping to do and cooking to do and gifts to wrap and gifts to buy and volunteering to do and cards to write and to go to the post office. I went to the post office yesterday expecting to be gone for a couple hours. So I was ready. I prepared myself. I treated, because I don't enjoy that kind of task. I had 2 packages to ship, and I decided to do it yesterday instead of Monday. It's about the only gifts I buy. And I thought, let me just go. I think Saturday at the post office, it's probably busy. Go to the post office. There's nobody there. And I had so much fun just chatting with the lady behind the desk. And then people started coming in, and we were all joking with each other. And it was just one of these magical moments that are available to us all the time, right? They feed us. And so there means to slow down and to pause. And that when you feel particularly dark, because I am aware that depression increases at this time for many people. But that too holds a gift. And so we pause, we wait, we sit, we become still, we listen, until that spark of light sparks our mind, our heart, and allows us to see something a little differently, to open our hearts to the blessings of the light and the love that is around us. Even if it's just a little bit, might not be enough of it for any of us when it comes to our human nature, our ego mind, but to just look for that little bit and to fan it like a flame. And so we feel what we feel, we allow it, and maybe we can befriend it. maybe it can be a celebration. Because when we sit still and stop running around, we're going to bump into our darkness. We're going to bump into our own challenges, our own limiting beliefs, our own fears, right? But when we wait and we become still and we watch and we listen, a spark of light will come. I promise. It always does come. And that light, as it reveals itself, is ours to share. In whichever way that is. Without self-judgment or self-criticism. Because I know it's easy to think that we don't do enough. Right? And that's so self-sabotaging. And so we flip that one and know that it is enough. And we shine that light upon the darkness until we can see more clearly. And then the invitation comes more clearly on how to share our light. There's always an invitation. There's always an invitation to see more clearly, to know the truth more deeply, to understand that solutions already exist and they can come by means of our own consciousness when we listen long enough and when we become still long enough. When we wait and sit long enough to feel the presence of God, or the presence of grace, or the presence of peace or love, because they're all synonyms anyway, right? And then we share it. So I want to close with a poem by Hafez, another Persian poet, Sufi poet from the 14th century. And it goes like this. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. One regret, dear world, that I'm determined not to have when I'm lying on my deathbed is that I did not kiss you enough. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. This place where you are right now, God circled on a map for you. Don't surrender your loneliness so quickly. Let it cut more deep. Let it ferment and season you as few human or even divine ingredients can. Something missing in my heart tonight has made my eyes so soft, my voice so tender, my need of God absolutely clear. And now let's have some more music. And this is a solstice song by Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin.
Deep in the darkest winter night, here with my candle burning, cozy and warm inside the light, now that the year is turning, what does the future hold in store? Where has our journey brought us? How can we learn from what's
Good morning. Good morning. So, befriending the dark and fanning that spark of light that is within each of us. So I'm very intentionally dressed for this morning. So I don't usually wear a t-shirt, but this is a t-shirt that has a quote from Buddha that says, "Thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened." So we're gonna do a practice to fan the flame of the light within us, because as there is darkness outside, as we're coming into the season where the sun actually stands still, and we're coming into that time of winter and darkness where we draw our attention to what needs to be nurtured, right? What needs to be healed and grown within us. But we do that by going within and turning to that inner light, that spark of inner divinity that is always present. Reverend Frankie said sometimes it feels like it's barely there, but we know that it is always present, and that we have the power and the choice to fan that spark into a roaring fire, into a flame, into a beacon on a hill that lights up the world around us. And so I'm going to invite you to join me in a little guided meditation to do just that, so that you can better light the candles of everyone around you with your own inner flame. So I invite you to close your eyes and to just take a breath and to come into this present moment right here, right now. And I invite you to visualize that place within you, that place of namaste, that place of the divinity within you, and to see it as a little spark of light. Perhaps it is like a little match in the darkness. There it is, inside you, in your heart, that spark of the divine. And now, with this next breath, breathing in deeply, I invite you to visualize the oxygen in that breath fanning that flame. So now it's the size of a candle. See it. Feel it. It is that love within you. It is that light within you. And so another deep breath, breathing in. And now fan that flame until it's a fireplace, a roaring fire in the fireplace of your soul. Spirit expressing. And the kindling is all that you need to let go of. The wood you are placing on that fire, the bellows of oxygen that you are using to fan that flame, it is all the things that no longer serve you. The things from this past year that we want to let go of. That is what this time of darkness is for. To nurture what wants to be grown and to let go of that which we need to let go of. And so I invite you to take yet another breath and to now see that fireplace as a beacon, as a bonfire on a hilltop that is a beacon to others, that shows others the light within and what is possible. And once again, we are fueling it with everything that no longer serves us. And the oxygen that fans the flame is that knowing of our truth. That knowing that the light within is ever present and can grow with our mindful attention to it. So do you feel that? Do you feel warmer? I know I feel like taking off my sweater. Because we know that we can send this energy out. We can light up the room from that space within us, from that inner light. And so as much as I love Christmas lights and I love to see all of the lights that are out there in the night, I know that the most important light is that light that I bring into the room. And I spend time fanning and fueling that light so that it better shines for everyone around me. So I invite you now to think of how you are going to fan your flame. How can you make your light shine brighter in these days of darkness when everyone wants to burrow in under a blanket and certain people feel alone? How can you shine your light brighter? Maybe it's by spending time in stillness and meditation so that you become aware of that light within. Maybe it's by making beautiful music to share with everyone, or beautiful art. Maybe it's by treating or working with a practitioner. Maybe it's just by showing up here. Whatever it is that feeds that light within you so that you can better shine it out into the world. That is what this time is for. Is to nurture that light, to feed that light, to strengthen that light. Because my light shines even brighter in the dark. That is what we remember. Not that we are in darkness, but that it is an opportunity to shine my light even brighter. And so now I invite you to envision that flame within you that is turned into a bonfire on a hill. See it light up this very room. See this room lighten up with the light that you are. And then expand that vision out. See that light light up this entire town, this entire state, this entire country. So much darkness all over the world. Be the light. Shine your light into the darkest corners. Fan your flame so you can show up for the world as a source of light, as a source of warmth for those who are cold and suffering. Shine that light out to the entire world. Because that is the truth of who and what we are. That is what we are here to do. To grow, to nurture that seed, that spark, so that we can best shine it out into the world. So that we can warm everyone we come into contact with. And so as we come back into this room and come back to that place within where the spark within you lives, I invite you to take this practice home with you and to spend some time during this hectic holiday season, to spend some time doing whatever fans your flame, to set aside the time to remember that that is the true light of the season. Enjoy the Christmas lights, but rather be the light of that verb of Christmas that Reverend Frankie referenced. Be the light. And so when you are ready, I invite you to come back into the room, to open your eyes, and to look around and see how much brighter it is in here right now. Because you are all shining your lights. So I invite you to enjoy the shining light that you all are. And from this place of bright shining light, It is time for our conscious giving. So I invite you to shine your light in an abundant way to give back to the community that lights you up. And so I'm going to pass the basket, and you can fill out an envelope, you can text to give, you can go on our website to give, you can give by sponsoring a social hour, you can give by showing up, you can give by inviting other people to join you here and spreading the message of this beautiful community. However it is for you, I invite you to give joyfully, to give gratefully, and to give with that inner light that is who and what you are. That is who we are as a community. And so I invite you to give from that place, knowing that whatever you give comes back to you abundantly. So this is our giving affirmation. You know what? I always like to do my own. So we say, divine love consecrates my gift.
Divine love consecrates my gift.
I know that the light in me shines brighter.
I know that the light in me shines brighter.
The more I share it with others.
The more I share it with others.
And so I choose to give my light.
So I choose to give my light
Abundantly,
abundantly,
joyfully, and with extreme gratitude
and with extreme gratitude
for the light that exists within us each.
for the light that exists within us each.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So I also invite you, let's see, this is the end of our year, so I just want to say we have a special Venmo, and we have a special flyer for year-end giving. If you are so moved, please contribute to the continuation of the center and to all the good things that we do. And I think that's about it. So the basket's going around, you can just continue that. We are going to close out, as we always close out, with a beautiful affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. So once again, I invite you to close your eyes and to join me in consciousness, to hear these words as if they were your own, because they are, because we are one mind. And so from this place of inner divinity, from this place where the spark of my light shines bright, where we all shine together in that united light that is the light of love, the light of source, the light of consciousness. From this place where we do not resist the darkness, but we embrace the opportunity to shine ever brighter. From this place, I know that each one here has been uplifted, has been supported, that their light has been fanned and the flame is burning bright, and that they go forth to be a beacon of light in the world. We each step forth today in a greater expression of the love that we are and the light that we shine from within, facing days of darkness, knowing that the light is returning, knowing that the light is ever present within. What a joyful thing that is to know. What a great blessing. And so with gratitude and grace for this beautiful teaching, for this knowing, for these moments and days of darkness that allow me to grow my light, to fan that flame, I am ecstatic with gratitude. And so from this place, I release this word into that ever-present and loving law, which we know can only say yes. And so as I say yes to the darkness, I say yes to the light, the law says yes to me, and I affirm that all is well, all is good, all is light. And so I let it go, I let it be, and so it is.